Welcome everybody back to Sports Debates. Today we are going to announce our schedule before anything else.
Today we will.
I'm still on.
You know what, Sam? Okay.
Okay, today we will be discussing, at first we will be discussing the NFL draft grades, then every team's first pick, debate who won the draft after that, and then after that we're done with the NFL, go into the NFL and we're going to the
NBA.
NBA playoff recap, and then we're going to debate who wins the finals, and then we're going to finish off, tell us, I don't know, do something else.
Yeah.
Why'd you put yours? Because yours is so much more. No, because we're doing that first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to start?
All right. So this is an alphabetical order
We'll-
by
You'll
city names.
You'll do that. I'll do that. You do that. I'll do that.
All right.
We
So
can do
this
that.
is by city names alphabetically. First, Arizona, Hassan Reddick. So how do you think Hassan Reddick's gonna do next year?
I think we talked about this last debate. I think he was a little underrated because of his school.
Mhm.
If you guys did watch our last video, I challenged you to go watch his highlights because they were amazing. He can plug up a hole like a defensive lineman, but then he has the speed and quickness to make the tackle on a running back who's running to the outside.
Yes, and I can find another example of someone who's underrated because of their school later in this video, and that'd be Corey Davis. That's another good one like that.
But that is
Later down there.
way down there.
So, and then overall, Arizona in the draft got a B+ rating, which is, from what I see, pretty average.
Because then, and later in the draft, they did get Buda Baker, who I think is going to be a great addition to Tyrann Mathieu after Tony Jefferson leaving.
Yes.
Atlanta did get
It's like Takaris, I think.
Takaris McKinley. I don't know how to say his name, but I don't really like this pick that much. He's good, but I don't think he was good enough to be a first round pick. He's a good talent, but I don't know if he's like good enough to do that.
And now everybody's saying, like, with him and Vic Beasley, it's going to be some, like, dynamic duo sort of thing. I really don't see that happening.
Vic Beasley led the league in sacks because Von Miller wasn't necessarily rushing the passer as much as he was usually, and J.J. Watt was out.
Hurt, yes.
So J.J. Watt will lead the league in sacks next year, and Von Miller will be close behind, I think.
I see actually T.J. Watt flying close behind, though. In
Good
amount
rookie
of
season.
sacks.
I think he might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He'll give
Yes.
Myles Garrett some contention.
Yes.
So I personally I give this draft grade a B+ at most. What do you give this draft grade?
Probably a B+ too.
And NFL.com did give it an A-.
Which is still around the average, so we'll give him that. So, Baltimore took Marlon Humphrey in the first round.
I really like this pick.
Same.
I really do. They did get Tony Jefferson to help out the safety core. Eric Weddle and him should be a really good duo. But I really like this pick because they've really been struggling with their corners. I mean, they've been like all average, Ladarius Webb, people like that. But I really like them bringing in a guy who could really develop and become an elite quarterback in this corner back in this league.
Now, if he plays really good next year, I see Baltimore being a defensive kind of powerhouse.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
coming up here.
Seahawks in 2013.
I see them still going third in the division, but it's going to be a close fight. I still have Pittsburgh on top, Cleveland,
Yeah.
Baltimore, than Cincy.
We're talking about Cleveland. It's a couple more down the line, but I think they did really good in this draft.
And NFL.com did give Baltimore B+, which is an average.
Even though I think I'll give them an A- to an A.
Yeah, same.
That was a really good draft by them.
Now, this next pick is special, and Sam will start this one out.
Buffalo did get Tre'Davious White, and guess what? All across the board, day 1, day 2, day 3, they got A's all across the board, which resulted in an overall A. And I really like this Tre'Davious White pick. What do you think about it?
I like it too. I mean, it's going to be a good addition to the secondary of Buffalo.
Yeah, especially since Stephon Gilmore just left to go to New England.
Yeah.
Their division rival. I feel like that's a little bit of backstabbing by him, just like
just
Kevin Durant leaving for the...
Warriors, just, no, come on.
Come on, man. You just don't do
And next, Carolina drafted Christian McCaffrey. This was one of my favorite picks in the draft.
I really like this pick. If I think a lot of people who watch this channel, if there's really any that do, if we're being totally honest, he really is really quick.
Yes.
He has the feet. He's so quick. I can't begin to tell you. He's not necessarily the fastest guy, but the quickness of getting off the ball, he's like a Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
He has the quickness to burst through the hole at any moment that you won't even see coming. But if he's in the open field, people can't catch him.
Definitely an easy starter next year.
Easy starter. I think he'll split carries with Jonathan Stewart, and if that doesn't work, if Jonathan Stewart doesn't live up to hype, which he hasn't over the past few years, Christian McCaffrey will take more of the load.
And again, this next one's a special pick again, but not for a good reason.
Wait. I grade Christian McCaffrey as an A- getting drafted.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the best pick, picking him at number 7. They probably could have traded down a little bit, got a couple more draft picks, and still got him. But NFL.com also rated this an A-. And next pick is Mitchell Trubisky. I think this was a horrible pick by them. I mean, if even they didn't have to trade up because 49ers got who they wanted and 3 other picks. They traded up 1 pick to get a guy who would have been there in the first place.
Yes.
I give this a C- because they lost 3 picks from it.
But NFL Network decided to be nice and give them a C+.
Because they did get gradually better over like the course of the days.
They went from like a C to like a B- to a B+ on day 3. So they kind of gradually upgraded.
It got better, but I just feel like this pick really put them like down in the dumps.
Yes.
I think you really like this pick right here next.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati picking up John Ross, who just recently broke the record from Chris Johnson in the 40-yard dash.
And let's be honest, he did say he had cramps before. Maybe nerves. I don't know. I would be nervous.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of weights on them shoulders when.
And the thing is, he tore both of his ACLs.
Mm-hmm.
I've torn 1.
I mean, I don't see him being a big threat as a receiver. I see him being
A Devin Hester kind of guy who
Mhm.
can take punt returns, kick returns, maybe a little bit Tyler Lockett-ish. He's a little
Yeah.
smaller than Tyler, but I feel like he's more quick. So
if he beats that cornerback, you're done.
yeah, if you
You're
play
done.
you can't play press coverage on. He's like Tavon Austin in the beginning of the career. They thought that they could play press coverage on him, but when they did, he destroyed him. So they started playing zone on him, and he can't do anything anymore.
Mm-hmm. And they gave Cincinnati an A- grade,
Which is what I
pretty
give them
good.
too. I give them
Mhm.
that too.
Yes, pretty good pick.
I really like this pick. We are going to talk about it a little bit more. Myles Garrett getting drafted by
Yes.
Cleveland. They were thinking about getting Trubisky because he was kind of their guy. But I really like the idea not to get him at number 1 because I feel like Trubisky has a little bit more to develop. Well, Myles Garrett can jump in and be a starter right away. David Njoku, I like that pick as well. He's an explosive tight end who can really make plays anywhere on the field. He's fast enough to be a receiver, but he's big enough to be a tight end.
And I also love Jabril Peppers. That was a good pick at 25.
Yeah, I think they can really move him anywhere. I mean, he's a little small to be a linebacker, but he has the quickness to get outside. The safety, I think, is where he's going to play best, even though he's still a little undersized for that.
That isn't going to matter when he beats the receiver to the ball, though.
Yeah, he's a
honestly.
ball hawk.
He is.
I don't know if you like this pick or not, this next one.
I did not really like this next pick. Dallas picking up Taco Charlton out of Michigan. I don't think Taco Charlton's going to be the guy that they want.
Mm-mm.
I would have took TJ Watt.
Their pass rush, I think their defensive coordinator is good, but he's not the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been better. I think this could have been a better pick.
Mm-hmm.
There were some better defensive players on the board. Their pass rush has really been struggling recently, but I don't know if it's been struggling as much as their secondary. Because their secondary, they lost 4 of their key 6 starters, including Barry Church, Morris Claiborne, David Carr. Not David Carr?
Yeah, not David.
Brandon Carr.
Yeah,
That's
Brandon
his name.
Carr.
one other guy. So, and they did get Jordan Lewis, which I liked that pick, but I don't like this Taco Charlton pick. I don't think he's the guy they need.
No. And NFL Network gave him an A-, which I agree with because they did do good
They did
all
do good
over the draft.
in the later rounds, but I feel like if you only grade the first pick, it's like a B.
Mm-hmm.
Later gets into the A's, so A-, I think we can average that out. I don't like this next pick.
Me neither.
I think Denver could have drafted a better guy. I think they should have waited a little bit longer to get an offensive lineman because I feel like this guy might be a bust. You look at his steps in college, they're not always the best. They're not like the best. I'm sorry.
Excuse you.
His steps have not always been the best, so I feel like his quickness will be down. He doesn't necessarily have the best O-line coach. Maybe if he went to Tom Cable, who's actually, he took basketball players and made them into offensive linemen and only had the 25th worst. I mean that's still not good, but it's basketball players, so. Hey, are you a construction worker? Okay, cool. You can be my offensive lineman.
And they gave the Denver an overall B, which is just below the average of most of the teams.
I like their last pick. I like Mr. Irrelevant. I actually do like the Chad Kelly pick. I think he can provide some competition to Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch to keep him motivated to play well. He'll be a third. He'll definitely be a third string, but it'll be close.
Next pick, Detroit picked Jared Davis first round, and I absolutely dislike this pick because Jared Davis hasn't exactly been the college athlete kind of guy. He didn't become a starter until his last season in college.
That's the same thing with Mitchell Trubisky. Jared Davis is a good linebacker, but he's not like a Hassan Reddick. I think they could have taken this guy later in the draft and got a CB, maybe a defensive back somewhere. No, their offensive line is actually pretty good now.
Because you can't rely on just Darius Slay to do everything in the secondary.
And maybe even get a running back. Did they end up getting a running back later in the draft?
I have no clue.
Fact check
that. Fact check that.
Jared Davis, he played with a couple guys, Quincy Wilson, Tease Tabor. They did get Tabor later in the draft. I think that Tabor might actually impress some people. Tease Tabor from Florida. I really think he'll impress some people. But otherwise, I don't really like this pick.
Me neither. I just...
I don't like this pick. The Davis.
No, they gave that pick a B. So... yeah, so you're on next.
Next, Green Bay. I really, really love this pick.
As do I.
Green Bay picked Kevin King, a really great corner, locked down from Washington. Seattle was looking to take him with their first pick. They didn't end up taking him because Green Bay Packers picked a pick before him. And I was hoping that Seattle would get him, but they didn't end up getting him, which is okay because they did end up getting Shaquille Griffin but we're talking about Green Bay.
Yeah.
They also got Tedrick Thompson and
just to butt in with that fact check, Detroit took 2 cornerbacks in the draft. One in the 5th, one in the
no running backs.
third. No running backs.
That's a little controversial.
They took a couple D's though.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like the Kevin King pick. I think you really love this next pick.
I got one more thing to add to the Green Bay. Packers, the last time that their owner traded their first round pick, they got Jordy Nelson. And look where Jordy Nelson is now. I mean, really good player even after the ACL thing.
His route running could get a little sharper, but the cuts, it's an ACL player.
Still led the league in touchdown receptions, and that's enough.
When your quarterback has 40 touchdown passes, it's not that hard.
True.
Being a number 1 receiver and all.
Alright, so next pick.
You really love this one, I know that.
So Indy, Malik Hooker. This is a really good
What are you
pick.
talking about? It's Houston.
Oh, it is Houston. Sorry, I read the next one down. I forgot that one. So Houston got Deshaun Watson. I was going for Clemson in that final game in the playoffs in NCAA. So I really like Deshaun Watson.
Clutchest player in the draft.
Yes.
Right here.
And this is another special one because Houston got all A's across the board. So
And didn't they end up getting an A- at the end? Or was that
no, that was late. That's later on.
that's really weird.
That's Miami.
Oh yeah. I do like this pick a lot. I feel like he can come in and be the starter right away over Tom Savage, who did impress, but I feel like he's not fit to be a leader just
He's not
yet.
consistent.
Like, he's like Matt Moore. He plays good for a couple games, but then...
And just
Then, so yeah, I think this guy can come and be a leader, a starter right away. Yeah. I like that pick, right? Like, a lot. I give it an A.
Yes, I give it. If they gave out A pluses, I'd give it an A plus.
I know you really like that pick right there. You've been talking about it the past few weeks. Indianapolis take Malik Hooker. I love this pick so much. You don't even know. I think that this is a really good pick for Indianapolis because Vontae Davis is definitely getting old.
Yes.
Vontae Davis is getting a little old, a little bit rusty. He's rough around the edges. Speed-wise, he's not really keeping up with those number one receivers. He's in that division. He's not really going to be able to keep up with Corey Davis. He's not really going to be able to keep up with DeAndre Hopkins. He's not really
Robinson.
Allen Robinson. Alan Hearns, even.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think he's going to be able to keep up with those 5 guys that we just listed. So I think this is a great pick, getting a younger talent for Vontae Davis to coach all he knows to this guy.
Yes. And they gave that pick an A minus. Or they gave their overall draft an A minus.
And I also know you love this next pick.
Oh, yes. This Jacksonville takes Leonard Fournette, which was a big steal since Christian McCaffrey was gone.
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
Jacksonville
yeah, I forgot.
picked 4th.
Yeah, Jacksonville picked 4th and Carolina picked like 7th. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Jacksonville was looking for someone speedy. I think they were trying to look for someone.
They're looking for somebody forceful.
Yes.
Somebody
like
who can
Chris
make it.
Ivory. They're trying to look for someone, except someone who doesn't get hurt as much and someone who's a little bit more agile around the edges. Like
Somebody who can just come in and power through and become a starter right away. This will take a lot of the pressure off Bortles, who I think they passed more than 60% of the time last year
Yes.
because they had no run game whatsoever. I mean, that can be put a little bit on the offensive line, but they did. Was it Forrest Lamp or Cam Robinson? I think they got Forrest Lamp. Fact check that for me. It's either Forrest Lamp or they got Cam Robinson, which either one would be a great pick for them. Hopefully it doesn't end up like Luke Joeckel, who was recently signed by Seattle.
These are the picks.
Yeah, they got Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Forrest Lamp. That was a really good pick for me. This next pick I don't like. Patrick Mahomes getting picked by Kansas City. B+ is what NFL.com listed. I listed as B- at best because their guy was Deshaun Watson. That was Andy Reid's guy, but I feel like the general manager came in and he's like, no, we got to take Patrick. Even though he played at a smaller school, he didn't have as much competition. They traded up, and I'm like, okay, they're just going to... Because, like, Deshaun Watson landed into Cleveland's lap. They traded away their pick, and I feel like they didn't capitalize on
But I
it.
think Cleveland was smart trading away.
Yeah, I think it was smart because
to
they
get
ended up
rid of
they,
that.
they ended up getting Kaiser later in the rounds, which I feel like is a really big pick for them.
This next one from the Rams, I really did not like this pick. Gerald Everett.
Mm-mm.
It was a horrible pick.
Yeah.
There was so much better people on the draft
They-
the draft still, and they just had to go pick someone who is 3rd round talent,
They ended up getting a B- for that draft.
which is tied for 2nd lowest.
I think that it was. I think it was worse than that.
But they did get A's later on in the draft.
Yeah, they
That's
did get
why.
gradually better. They got Cooper Kupp, who I think is a really good talent. I mean, he didn't have the best quarterback, and he made a lot of mistakes, but he made it look good. And some of them he wasn't really covered, but some of them he was like deeply covered. Next one, I think we both really like this pick, and Mike Williams.
Kind of reminds me of Mike Evans a little bit.
Yeah, a big physical guy. He's not as big. Mike Evans, I think, can make more catches, like over the top of people. He's big as a tight end, I swear to God.
But that's the thing Jameis Winston's trying to work on, though. He's trying not to force his passes like we talked in the last episode. He needs to stop forcing his passes so he gets less interceptions.
Right. But I really like this pick. I feel like he's going to be a fine addition to Phillip Rivers, which he threw 21 interceptions last year. So I feel like this is a big pick because then if he can just throw it up and Mike Williams can go up and get it. Because they need another guy because Keenan Allen he's a good number one guy, but he gets injured too much. It's just what we say.
And Antonio Gates getting old.
Yeah, of course, he's getting old. He was a 99 in like 6 straight years in Madden, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like 2006 to 2009, it was like 2012, I think, because he was still a 99 in 2012.
Another thing the Chargers need to do is pound the ball more on the ground.
Dude, they got Melvin Gordon, 997 yards. How bad would you feel if you missed 1,000 yards by 3 yards?
He was a runner-up for the Heisman in his senior year. Out of Wisconsin, he was pretty decent. I mean, who won it over him? Jameis Winston won it over Melvin Gordon, didn't he?
I think so.
So, next pick.
Yeah, either that or Mariota. Didn't Mariota end up winning it?
Mm-mm.
No, it was
Winston.
No, because it was Mariota, Cooper, and Gordon who was in it. Because Winston won at the year.
Alright, you explain the next one while I fact check this real quick. I need to see the Heisman winners.
Who won?
Alright, just
Okay.
go on and do the. This one's special too. Remind them of the A minus.
Yeah, Miami got Charles Harris, which is a good pick. But they got A's all the way across the board, and then they got an A minus overall, which I think is a little suspicious. Maybe one of their picks was good, but it was good enough to get him an A, but it wasn't good enough to get him an A overall. You notice how, like, sometimes on Madden you get 99, 99, and then it's 98? Like, total? That's what I think might have happened.
So, with this, it says Mariota and Winston both won Heismans. Just Winston won a Heisman earlier without being a senior going into the NFL.
Yeah, he was a...
Mariota won one in his final year.
Yeah, it was his final year. I don't know if he won it. No, we don't want to. We just want to go back.
Yeah. So.
Just press go back, and I want to check something. I wonder if this like says how who are the runner-ups for?
Here, I can find that. You need to keep on explaining.
Okay. I think it's actually your turn, Minnesota's.
Oh.
I like this pick.
Minnesota, yes, Delvin Cook. This was a really, really, really good running back. One of the best running backs. I think he was probably the third best behind Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey. But, yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
They got, that was a decent steal for being...
I like the pick for...
Yeah, they were in the middle of the draft, so it was a really good pick for mid-draft.
Yeah, second round, I think he was really a steal for being second round.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he can come in and make an... I think him and Latavius Murray are going to split carries.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
And this next pick, it's New England. New England didn't get to draft their first guy till the third round. They traded away their first 2 picks, but somehow still got a B+ rating.
Who?
New England. They got a B+
they
rating.
drafted well. They traded away their
did.
draft picks to get, like, Brandon Cooks and stuff,
Mhm.
which I feel like is a really good trade, which ends up, translating.
And their first pick was Derek Rivers.
We can see when Melvin Gordon got drafted, so we can...
It was 2014.
Then, yeah, it was under Mark.
Your turn with New Orleans.
New Orleans...
Marshawn might have won.
Marshawn Lattimore, I also love this pick so much.
Yes.
It's just like the Colts, but the Saints had nobody,
Mm-hmm.
which I think also might result in a bust. I like the pick, but he has nobody to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a little iffy.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say, other than it's a A- pick.
And this next pick is tied for the worst draft.
Oh, this is controversial and horrible pick. I think they could have gotten this guy later in the draft. You want to announce it?
Yeah, New York Giants got like some
Evan
Engram.
Engram.
He was a horrible first round pick. I mean, just
He's a tight end. You have Brandon Marshall and
this
Odell.
was
Address better needs. Like, you could have gotten Ryan Ramczyk.
this was as bad as Gerald Everett. This was as bad as that pick. Except they gave
I think it might have been worse than Trubisky.
yes. for
Because at
sure.
least Trubisky can be your quarterback in the future. This guy, I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's not really big enough. I don't think he's big enough to be a look him up, Evan Engram. I don't think he's big enough to be an NFL tight end. I think you need to be a little bit bigger in size. I think, I actually don't know his height. I think it's like 6'3" or something.
Yeah, just move on to the next one. I think it's like Jared Adams or something.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Jamal Adams. that's
I
the
like
one.
this pick from the Jets, but I think they had bigger needs.
Yes.
They could have taken Watson. They could have taken Mahomes. I don't care who they would have taken. They could have taken Kaiser later in the draft because I know they picked before the Browns before they got
Mm-hmm.
Kaiser, which also would have been a good pick because I think he fits in with Todd Bowles' offense pretty well. But they waited too long, and I feel like their overall draft was a B-. But I feel like this pick can be big because they needed some help in the secondary.
I mean, I guess he's decent height. I mean,
He's
6'3". I mean,
That's as tall as Corey Davis.
yes, but except he's probably a lot slower.
Yeah, Corey Davis is much faster.
Mm-hmm. So where are you at right now? You're at
We're at Garyon Conley.
yes. Did you already announce him?
I did not.
So Oakland picked.
216 pounds? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
You look at Jimmy Graham or Gronk, like 6'6", like 260 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculously low.
And Oakland got Jerron Conley. This was another big steal in the draft.
Garyon.
On.
I like this pick as well because they need defensive backs. As Oakland needs defensive backs. I don't care if they have nobody to learn from. Maybe you can have Charles Woodson come in, teach him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I love this pick. I think the Miami Dolphins can give the Patriots a run for their money. I also feel like the Oakland Raiders can give, so I think that Miami can give the Patriots a run for their money if Ryan Tannehill can turn himself from good to elite. If he
Yes.
can do, I know you said he probably won't do it this year, but I feel like he was a little raw coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
We both know that. He's definitely raw coming out of college. Texas A&M isn't necessarily the best school to come out of for quarterbacks.
And look at Johnny Manziel.
Exactly.
Look where he's at.
But I feel like Tannehill is good, but he's not elite yet. But if he can turn that up, I feel like they can attack the Patriots and maybe get 11, 12 wins this year. With the Oakland Raiders, Derek Carr will be back. He'll be healthy. They now have a defensive back that they can lean on. Their defense is looking stacked, as always. Their offense is looking stacked, as always.
They just need Crabtree not to drop the ball 24/7. They'd be.
And then maybe a running back.
Mm-hmm. After losing Murray, I mean.
People thought that they might draft Dalvin Cook, but guess where Dalvin Cook landed? Where Murray did. So they missed out on that, but they could have drafted him in the first round. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, it's your turn.
Philadelphia drafted Derek Bennett. That's an okay pick.
It is.
The
There's not much to say on this pick. I mean, they gave it an A-. They gave Philly an A-.
I give it an A-.
I see
B+.
Philadelphia coming in second division this year.
Yes, this is going to be a big fight. I think the Giants will win the division. The Eagles will come in second with a wild card berth, and the Cowboys are going to be last in the division. It'll be a fight, though. It'll be like Gladiator, bro. Cowboys will be fighting to scrap up 10 wins. The Redskins have Terrell Pryor to throw to now, who's a beast. He has a now solid quarterback to get passes from with Kirk Cousins. But now Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith are taking passes from Carson Wentz, who can help him turn into elite quarterback. I think Carson Wentz has more potential than Jared Goff, so I think he can turn into elite quarterback this year. Maybe Darren Sproles can have a breakout year. That's what they're hoping for, at least. Their defense has gotten better. It's good.
I mean,
It's
pick,
looking up for them.
This next pick, one of my favorite picks. I mean, he's out of Wisconsin. I mean, I would have liked if the Packers would have drafted him. Pittsburgh took T.J. Watt.
I was scratching my head with this pick, if we're being honest.
I mean, he's not really. He would not. He doesn't fit into Pittsburgh's defense.
And of course he can learn from James Harrison because I mean he's retired, but I mean James Harrison's still getting gains, so I mean there's not much to say about this pick other than it's a good pick and I give him an A-, but it still leaves me scratching my head a little bit. This next pick also has me scratching my head a little bit. You want to announce it?
Seattle took Malik McDowell out of MSU.
He has a solid frame. He's a solid player. He's inconsistent, like me in basketball.
Bring back memories of tonight.
He's inconsistent, so it depends on which guy shows up. I like Seattle's picks later in the draft, such as Shaquille Griffin. I like Tedrick Thompson. I really like the Mike Tyson pick. I even like their wide receiver they got later in the draft, who was underlooked because I think it was like East Central Kentucky. I really like those picks, so we'll see where they land. They also got a running back, which I'm still scratching my head about, which is why I give it an A-, not an A. Maybe a B+ if we're going that low.
No. San Francisco.
I should know this one. That was lost too.
Oh, fine. I want to explain something.
Yeah, I got you. I'll just hand it over to you.
Yeah.
San Francisco did get Solomon Thomas.
I mean, yeah.
Solid player.
He is a solid player.
Have you ever seen his highlights? First one that comes up in the highlight I watch, he jumps over a guy and lands in the QB and just smothers him.
That reminds me of that one highlight play of Jadeveon Clowney when he wrecks the Michigan running back.
Did you know the Michigan running back is still selling autographed pictures of him getting hit?
That's not exactly something you want to sell to other people. But what I was saying is the San Francisco's got a win-win out of this.
We can talk about like undrafted free agents after this if you have any that you like.
But yeah,
I have some.
they got a 3rd and a 4th round pick out of this, so it's pretty much a win-win. They got a good linebacker here, and they got it's a pretty good pick. And
yeah, I like the Solomon Thomas pick. I feel like San Francisco gets an A. They got Reuben Foster later, who might not play because he got a little hurt. He got hurt in training camp. I like their picks all across the board. I feel like they still need a quarterback.
yes,
Definitely, that's a must. I feel like Kyle Shanahan is going a little over his head, not getting a quarterback in this draft.
knowing Shanahan, he'll figure out something. He'll get someone. I mean, even if they have to trade someone.
They do have Brian Hoyer, who we did specify last episode as a solid starting QB.
He did.
He threw 0 interceptions in his time playing. He could be a solid starter if they needed.
This next steal was a good steal too by Tampa Bay picking O.J. Howard out of Alabama.
This just scared me how far he dropped, but it makes me feel so happy for Jameis Winston to have another huge target. He has to. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bold prediction. Tampa Bay's winning the division this year.
I already said that last episode too. I have Winston throwing for over 4,800 yards.
Winston,
I mean, just
Martin if he's back to full form, Djax, Mike Evans, and O.J. Howard. How can you not win with those guys? If you don't, you gotta fire a coach.
Yeah.
And if Winston limits his picks, they're going 13 wins.
even 14, depending on how. I haven't looked at their full schedule yet. Maybe even 14.
Yeah, if we look, maybe we could look at their schedule next episode. Look at the team schedules.
Do you want to announce this next pick? I know you like this pick a
Oh,
lot.
I love this pick so much. With Tennessee picking Corey Davis out of Western Michigan, we wanted to talk about this one because we feel like he was really overlooked because of his college, but the draft didn't show that. I feel like this is a great pick for Tennessee, picking a number 1 wide receiver who can come in. He is big, but he's fast enough to burn corners. He's big, but he's fast.
He needs to limit his injuries, knowing he did not participate in the combine.
Yeah, he did get an ankle injury, which is why he didn't participate in the combine, which is why people had him dropping all the way to the Steelers at 30.
Yes, and when I was watching the draft, I mean, my face lit up when I saw him get drafted at 5. I was like, wow.
And I did have the honor to watch him play Buffalo in Kalamazoo. It was November. Yeah, it was a night game. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
And this pick surprised me too how late this guy went in the draft. He was supposed to be top 10. Jonathan Allen, he got drafted by Washington. A DE out of Alabama, another Alabama pick. I mean, they got him a B+ there. Now it's on to NBA.
Let's just move right over, nosedive into this.
Oh yeah, we got to debate who won the draft.
Oh shoot, I think if we're being totally honest, I think Tennessee won the draft with their pick.
We got to get our top 3 here. It's either gonna be
Here, let me see this. Houston, Tennessee, and Cleveland for me.
I think we can eliminate Tennessee because Tennessee, that was their only good pick. And then they kind of got some.
They got some bottom feeders that could actually make an impact, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna make that big of an impact. We can eliminate Houston because they got one great guy and they gave up a couple picks. And then I think Cleveland definitely won this draft, getting Garrett and Njoku. I think there was really smart drafting on Hugh Jackson's part, and Njoku Peppers,
Kaiser,
who could be ready to start day 1. They're gonna have a QB battle, but I don't think that.
I don't know. It won't be a QB battle by the start of the season.
Kessler, it'll be a QB battle between 2, not 3. People are thinking Brock Osweiler. No, he's not going to be in. He's going to be 3rd string. Cody Kessler's much better than him. So yeah, we both agree that Cleveland won.
Definitely.
Let's nosedive into NBA then.
First round recaps first.
We're going already eliminated. Let's just name all the first round guys. Thunder already got eliminated, and they got eliminated by the Rockets. That was a 4-1 series, and I feel like Russell Westbrook won the battle, but I feel like James Harden won the war. The Rockets won the war.
After that, James Harden, that
50
MVP just dropped off, and it's James Harden standing up there on that podium.
It was a 53-point triple-double that Russell had. I think he's still hanging there, but I feel like if LeBron James wins the finals, he could be a legitimate contender for James Harden. The first round, the Grizzlies also got swept by the Spurs.
That was no surprise.
Going into the David Fizdale did flip on the referees, got fined, and then his players paid for it because Michael Conley has a 5-year $153 million contract, biggest in NBA history. Clippers also lost in the first round, which was really surprising. This one went to Game 7.
This irritated the crap out of me. I'm a Clippers fan. And I was just, no.
Gordon Hayward played much better than I think the Clippers expected him to.
And you gotta look at the Clippers have always had a history of injuries hitting them hard in the playoffs. I mean, look at Blake Griffin. Gets hurt Game 6, and then it's just...
Paul can't win without Griffin, and Griffin can't win without Paul, it seems like.
And Griffin can win without Paul because they have Austin Rivers. It's just you need that post guy besides Jordan.
Yeah, that's true. Next... Atlanta did lose to the Wizards in the first round as well. That one was no surprise.
Did that one go 4-2, I think?
That went 4-1.
4-1, yeah. Atlanta got one game on them.
But they didn't have Kyle Korver anymore, which was surprising to me that Cavs actually succeedingly got. They're starting to run a franchise like the Patriots, getting great guys for like a pack of ramen noodles.
Yeah, it's like trading. Like, all right, so you have Tom Brady, and you have a pack of Spam. Oh, let's make that trade. That's literally how that's literally how that trade was.
That was really surprising to me. The Bulls also got knocked out in the first round, even after starting 2-0, and I really feel bad for Wade, who I actually don't feel bad for because he can opt out of his contract and go back to the Heat, in which I would be happy.
I would love for that to happen. To have Dragic, Wade,
Waiters,
Whiteside.
I think Waiters can actually start over Winslow in the small forward, even though he's a little small for that.
And then your post is amazing. You got Whiteside and Bosch can shoot from the outside. So
If Bosch comes back, then they're going to be a legitimate top 3 contender for the finals. But I mean, nobody can stop the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Bucks also got lost in the first round.
I think that was a Game 7 series too.
No, it wasn't.
Or it was Game 6.
Yeah, 6.
Mm-hmm.
But Giannis took over. I feel like Giannis should be considered for. I think just give him the MVP next year. I feel like he's a really big candidate for MVP next year. He really locked him down on defense, which is why it went to 6.
But you got to look at Milwaukee. Did start off 2-0. They didn't win after that second game.
Lowry and DeRozan couldn't shoot until after that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, DeRozan can't really shoot anyway.
Mm-hmm. And there's not much to say about these next 2 games. I mean, the Blazers and the Pacers just got swept by the 2 best teams in the NBA. Warriors and the Cavs. I mean, no surprise there.
I mean, Lillard played really, really well.
He
I
did.
feel like he can play. If he gets a little bit more help around him, if he still had LaMarcus Aldridge, they'd actually be a threat in the West. Indiana gets swept. And the other 3 that we have, the other second round game is Boston and Washington, which is in Game 7, which hasn't been played yet.
Yeah, they'll be played tomorrow night, I believe.
No, because they played tonight. It should be played Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday, because they got to travel.
Toronto,
Got swept.
Houston. Yeah, Toronto got swept.
By Cleveland.
I mean, no surprise there. Houston got.
That was
Game 6.
Yeah, Game 6.
And then
Spurs pulled it out there.
the Jazz got swept.
Yeah, that no surprise there. Yeah.
Gordon Hayward, their only All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work out for you. Houston went to Game 6, and then James Harden went partying after. That's when you see the immaturity of some people. Like, after they lose, you're not hanging.
He deserves it. I mean, he played a really good, hard season. It's finally over. Give him a little
6
break.
points in that game and 5 turnovers. Almost had as many turnovers.
That game, he was a little off. But look at his overall season recap. That's why he's going to be winning MVP. Is because his season.
Hey, nothing we can do but watch.
True.
Game 7s this year. Boston and Washington, which is still going. Who do you predict will win that?
Boston. Isaiah Thomas has a lot more willpower to win in this.
Yeah, I feel like he has more, he has more to fight for.
Mm-hmm.
This is where legends are born. He said this. He said this after Game 6. Game 7 is where legends are born, and I feel like he will push through and he will dominate John Wall. I feel like John Wall will be able to score offensively until IT leaves, or I feel like he might even lock down Bradley Beal when John Wall's not out.
You gotta look at this. I mean, you see legends are born. Remember last year's amazing finals comeback. Down 3-1, Cavs came back, Game 7. LeBron just put it to him. I mean, that's why LeBron is going to go down as best player in history until someone else comes in here and knocks him off that.
Switching might never happen. When you beat MJ, there's not much that can happen after that. The Clippers and Jazz, the Jazz did win that series. Sadly, Preston.
Your team didn't even make it to the playoffs, so.
Neither of them did. So I was rooting for the Bulls. And then they lost.
Our conference finals, we gotta predict the series games too.
Spurs versus Warriors. The Warriors are gonna win that in 6.
I say 7.
7? Cowie isn't at 100%, at least for the first 2 games. He might rally a comeback. They're gonna go up 2-zip right away. The Warriors, if he can rally back and bring them to 2-2, and then maybe one.
I mean, we don't know though. But because he's got a little time to rest. Because
that's true.
They can't start the conference finals until someone wins the other game.
Yeah, that's true. He might actually be ready Game 1. I didn't even think about that. Warriors are gonna win.
Yeah, Warriors are gonna win 4-3.
What about the Cavs?
I see 4-1 against Celtics. I see Celtics take Game 1, kind of make the Cavs a little angry.